3, 2, 1, go. Thursday night college basketball action. This is Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. Going to head to the West Coast Conference. The BYU Cougars versus the St. Mary's Gales at the McKeon Pavilion in Northern California. In the betting market, Gales listed as 8-point home favorites. Total has dropped from 151 to 150. Definitely monitor any future movement by going to SBRodds.com. When you look at the visiting team, BYU is riding a 2-game win streak. That includes a 70-68 victory as 12-point home favorites against the Utah State Aggies. They are 0-4 though on an ATS in their last 4 games. The over going 3-1 in that span. They do hold an 8-5 edge in this series, but they did suffer a 70-69 defeat as 5-point home favorites against St. Mary's on January 16th. And that has dropped them to 0-5 against the spread in the last 5 meetings in the series, with the under cashing in 4 of those contests. 3-9 when seeking revenge from a same-season loss the last 2+ seasons, including a 2-3 ATS mark when revenging a home loss during that span. So definitely something from a sports betting trend perspective. Of course, offensively, it's all about sophomore guard Tyler Haws. He's averaging 21.2 points per game. He has scored 20+ in 19 of 28 contests. And this team has won 25 or more games in the last 6 seasons. That is the second longest streak of its kind nationally. So they're going to have to do some work over the last few games of the 2012-13 regular season. Of course, they're going to have conference tournament play and then potentially NCAA tournament action. But they are 20-8 entering this affair. 47.9% shooting during conference play. That is up from 44.5% they shot against non-conference foes. Definitely expected due to the fact that the WCC is very top-heavy at the top with Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and of course BYU, and then not a lot of great competition in the middle and at the back end of this conference. When you look at St. Mary's, very impressed with the fact that they bounced back from the biggest loss of their season. Of course, that was at home against Gonzaga. Even though they didn't cover the spread, they picked up a 61-50 victory over Loyola Marymount over the previous weekend. They have won at least 25 games in their last 5 seasons. They joined the likes of course, BYU, Duke, Gonzaga, and Kansas in that category. 37-5 at home the last 6 seasons against WCC foes. 35-1 in that situation when not playing the Gonzaga Bulldogs. It's all about point guard, senior point guard Matthew Dellavedova. He hit the buzzer beater in Provo. That was directly after the fact that BYU took the lead of that game late with about 10 seconds to play. But Dellavedova, the player to watch, 15.8 points and 6.4 assists per game. The main betting trend that I focused on when handicapping this game, I was really on the fence. I established the St. Mary's Gales as 7.5-point home favorites, but I don't really like playing BYU as a road underdog. We've covered them in the past, and when they lose straight up as a road underdog, they don't cover the spread. And I feel comfortable in backing and laying the points here and backing St. Mary's due to the fact that they are 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games with a total between 150 and 159.5. As I've mentioned previously in other videos, I kind of use that as a pace factor. Of course, BYU likes to go up and down, especially on the offensive end. And the last 3 of those games, between 150 and 159.5, since 2011-12 campaign, have come against the BYU Cougars. St. Mary's covering, of course, those last 3. And as we've already touched on, they are 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 meetings in the series. So my official pick on this game is going to be the St. Mary's Gales -8 against the BYU Cougars on Thursday night. I'd maybe wait to see if this line drops to 7.5 and get in at that level because, like I said, that's the exact line that I established in this game. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeff Grant Sports. You're also going to want to check out 2 more videos at SBRvideos.com. That is the Duke Blue Devils and Virginia Tech Hokies and the California Golden Bears traveling to Oregon to take on the Ducks in Eugene. This has been another edition of Across the Board with Jeff Grant here at SBRforum.com. Cut.